Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special edition of the Officer Club Championship. As you might notice, things are a little bit different. I'm not on camera right now, and I'm alone, but the case is that I've been sick for the past 4 days, and I am still sick, so I'm just staying at home, and I'm unable to make it into the office where I usually do things. And it's just going to be me to begin with here today. But as we get some players knocked out of the tournament, they're probably going to join me to cast these games moving forward. But I would rather, I would rather do this, sick from home than have you guys miss the show. So players are ready and waiting. So they're definitely going to give us all a great show. So. Um, Let's just start by taking a look at the bracket this month. If we take a look at that, it's going to be the first match of today is going to be J King 7 versus Canada Bear. That's a huge, huge match right there. Then after that, we're going to have Lele and Hui Hui, which are two Chinese competitors making their kind of first appearance here. And that's going to be super interesting because both of them are kind of both of them are kind of doing some new things with their decks that I'm really excited about. Then we got Innocent Bubbles and Blue Blast. And finally, Bai versus Darkness. Now, for those that were paying extra attention, we did qualify the top 12 players this month. And then, of course, yeah, on top of everything, someone's just doing construction right above me. So it's like almost like somebody doesn't want this Officer Club Championship to happen, but we will persevere. We are the KARDS community, after all. But so if we want to take a look, if we want to look at the entire bracket, we did qualify top 12 of the players. So we did, however, lose out a couple of our NEU SAC lost to Canada Bear in the qualifying rounds there. Lele got a bye, making it into the top bracket. Innocent Bubbles beat his opponent from China with a name that's only Chinese characters, so I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry, but it was a valiant effort from what I hear, 2-1. And then Spoos, who narrowly lost to Baijay 2-1. And Baijay says that it was actually kind of luck that got him through that one. Unfortunate. I was definitely looking forward to kind of seeing Spoos here today, but we won't be blessed with that. So there's going to be a lot of really, really entertaining matches for us here today. The first one is going to be between J King and Canada Bear, and I'm just going to give them the go-ahead for the first match, and let's just jump right into it. This is super funny because we're actually this entire broadcast is being brought at you from the 1939 Games headquarters. However, no one is there right now. I'm sitting at home, and the players are sitting in their respective home countries, but we're all kind of remote connected into there. But let's jump on into it right now. J King versus Canada Bear, first game of the day. I'm really excited for this one. I think this one is going to be a great match for sure. Let me get both of these up. Perfect. There we go. So we got Soviet versus Japanese in the first match of the tournament, and I think that's just fantastic. I do notice the error in the turn indicator there telling us whose turn it is, but I will fix that right after this game. I apologize. I also apologize if my voice gives out, but I'm going to try and give you as good a show as possible until then, everybody. So let's take a look at this. We have Canada Bear bringing Japan and Germany here, and it's looking like it's a fairly aggressive deck, actually opting to push that Type 93 in Type 73 into the front line. It's an interesting move there. Probably just making sure that no blitz unit can come there and kind of rob that front line from him. He's not able to push that Chaika up there, forcing him to have to trade. And now we see the Signal Regiment coming out. And sorry, I'm doing a lot of things right now. Amphibious Assault here being picked up for J King, though. Signal Regiment is gone. Not a lot of value being gotten out of this one. And actually great for him to be able to trade that Chaika into that Akita there. And dodging the 2 damage, actually just healing himself 2 damage. Not a lot of value for the Akita Regiment there. Canada Bear forced to kind of push the Bicycle Regiment up into the front line just to be able to get the draw. I wonder if he wants to play the Desperate Measures here. That would kind of make sense because it would clear J King's board and give him a chance to kind of buff the Bicycle Regiment and get a bunch of damage face in the coming turn. Now J King here plays another Chaika. And a second Rifles. Wow, that's a great pickup. And that card was actually buffed in the latest patch. Dropped down a credit, so perfectly being able to play it there fits perfectly and shows kind of the added value that brings. But now it's a question: what's Canada Bear going to do here? Because it does have additional attack damage against units with Blitz, which is excellent against the Japanese deck here from Canada Bear. All right, now it's J King's turn here. Trading everything out and ending up with a lot of presence on the board. Early on here, Canada Bear falling a little bit behind. I wonder what we're going to see from him now. Yep, just continuing on with that frontline pressure. But J King does have a lot of removal in hand, but drawing that ramp card there from the people, I think, no, it's not from the people. Oof. We're getting some potential lag spikes here, it's looking like from my indicator, but hopefully it's not too bad. Workers Unite there, coming out from J King, drawing a 945th Rifles, actually pretty good there, but opting to drop the Engineers there. I think that's great. It's going to really help kind of up his health total and stop him from tanking too much damage from the burn coming out of Canada Bear. Ooh, the Akita kind of hitting a pretty valuable target there. I'm guessing Canada Bear would definitely want to see those Engineers gone. 2 945th here. There's so much life gain, like kind of secret life gain in this deck from J King. But everybody knows, J King is the master of the Soviets. So doesn't surprise me that he has a really, really efficient Soviet deck up his sleeve. All right, the Engineers are gone. It's pretty good getting that out of the way. Opting to kind of at least put that unit in danger and not able to attack into where I really need my player expert by my side to tell me the name of these units that I normally don't play. But Naval Brigade in hand there. Just a lot of ways to deal with this aggression from J King. Yeah, there's also like almost hurricane force winds going on outside, and a bunch of kind of a cabinet door that was out on my balcony kind of flew up earlier. So everything is kind of going wrong, but let's hope this tournament kind of goes right. But just look at that backline there for J-King. I mean, what does he have to worry about with all these units coming at him? It's not like Canada Bear is finding a ton of burn at the moment already, and I'm not even sure that he's running a feigned retreat. It doesn't look like it, because yeah, opted to just trade both of those Panzer 35Ts, get rid of one of the guard units, another one just standing by. Critical hit, gonna take that one out. Naval Brigade can push up. And the Mito Regiment is gone as well with the amphibious assault. Just so much control over the game right now here for J-King. I don't think this was the matchup that Canada Bear was really hoping to bring this deck into. He was probably thinking it along the lines of something like, you know, ramp decks or maybe some. Wait, let me look at the bring up the nations here. So J-King is running a Brit deck, a Soviet deck, and a Japanese deck, right? So I'm pretty sure that Canada Bear was hoping that he was bringing this deck into the British deck for J-King, but now with the armored train coming out there as well, I feel like it's really hard for me to see how Canada Bear is going to come back in this game. So tell me in chat, is everything like okay with my voice? Is the volume okay and everything? It's a little bit hard to troubleshoot everything from remote. All right, that's great. Ooh, the Sheeden coming out there from Canada Bear, but not being played behind a guard unit, so might be pretty easily dealt with by J-King. But of course, J-King doesn't even have to deal with it. J-King doesn't even have to deal with it if he doesn't want to. He can just go face, really. He's also holding an Empire of the Sun there, so you know, a lot of ways to kind of draw himself back into the game. I think it's just an unfortunate matchup here for Canada Bear. Yeah, nothing will stop me from casting this. All right, an armored train going on in the front line. That's probably why he wanted to take that Sheeden down instead of just ignoring it. He just wants to put that tremendous front line pressure that you can put on there with the armored train, spawning those units, just absorbing those extra attacks. And yeah, unfortunate there that unit is not going to be drawing you a whole lot. Rising Sun is also not going to be drawing you a whole lot, Canada Bear. You are in a tricky spot right now. What's a little bit deceiving about this situation, though, is that, you know, even though J-King has a lot of units there in the front line, he doesn't have a ton of damage in the front line because the armored train, it can't attack. It can only sit there kind of as this brick in the front line. So he has some removal in hand, but he can only do 3 damage, you know, with what he has in the front line. So you might look at this and be like, okay, you know, it might be like, all right, it's over. But he can only do 3 damage. At this point, it would take him 9 turns if Canada Bear did nothing to kill Canada Bear. So it's definitely not over. However, as I did say, you know, Canada Bear is running this aggressive deck. He's now out of card draw, and that's probably his biggest problem at the moment. But the lack of damage in the front line there for J King means that he does have, you know, quite a bit of time to kind of just chill and draw those cards. But now J King putting down those those guard units and starting to push them up, which means that this will quickly start getting painful for Canada Bear. And actually, the surrender just coming out. The Night Witch is being played, and that's enough. Canada Bear surrenders the first game, and it is J King 1, Canada Bear 0. And that was an interesting game. It kind of felt like an unfortunate matchup there for J King, and a kind of unfortunate matchup there for Canada Bear, and a really good one for J King. So. All right, they are starting the next match. All right, I'm trying to put a little bit of music here. All right, there we go. Alrighty, men. We are back. And Canada Bear bringing his Japanese deck again. J King bringing his Japanese deck, and I think this is the Officer Club Championship first. I think this is the first time we ever see a Japanese versus Japanese game in the OCC. I'm really happy to kind of see this diversity of nations coming back into cards. Canada Bear there playing the Akita on turn 2. It's normally not what you want to do. You really want to get it out there on turn 3, so you can make use of pushing that unit up. But now look at the board pressure there for J King already. 3 units versus 1, and Canada Bear lagging a little bit behind. Now, however, even though he is lagging a little bit behind on the board pressure, there is the second. Oop. All right, I'm not even gonna try doing my little trick there on the production side, because I'll probably just break something. But Desperate Measures, what a great pickup there for J King. However, it will drop him down a credit, and we all know that it being, you know, denied a credit is really, really painful. However, what it will give him is tremendous board pressure. 2 units in the front line against Canada Bear, who doesn't have a unit on board at the moment. Finding that air blitz. Question what he wants to do with it. I mean, he could push that Mito Regiment out there and knows he gets a 2-for-1 out of that. Pretty decent, but now, you know, J King can just ignore that unit and go face. And look, he has 2 air blitzes in hand. That's 8 damage right there. This game is probably just done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really see what Canada Bear is going to do unless he somehow finds a fortification that he stole from his British deck. But it's 2 turns, and then J King has this one in the bag, I believe. These air blitzes can be tough to deal with. I mean, J King is still, you know, 20 HP, so yeah, and that's game. The attack and the air blitz. What a swift 2-0 there from J King. That's actually crazy. Crazy. What a fast series coming out of J King and Canada Bear on that one. Interesting. All right. I mean, there's not much to analyze, in that second match. It was J-King found the units that he needed quicker. And there, going first in that Japan versus Japan is just huge. So, of course, it's going to be difficult for Canada Bear to kind of wrestle back control when he already loses the front line that early in the game. Even though he has that card advantage, it doesn't help him when the burn is just that aggressive and that nonstop. And then I believe that's the Kigoshima regiment there that he pushes up in the front line, that 5-3 with ambush, and that puts so much pressure on the headquarters that it's really difficult for Canada Beer to do anything about that because it has ambush, so he has to burn 2 cards into it. And in the end, both of those air blitzes coming up really early in the game there for J-King, he was able to finish it off no problem. So J-King 2, Canada Bear 0, and J-King progresses with that one. Next up, we're going to be back with a game between, let's take a look at the bracket here real quick. And while we look at that, and we see the next game is going to be Michael Lele and Hui Hui. These are 2 Chinese competitors. So we're doing a little bit of a new thing with our production from China because we can't use Parsec all the way to Asia. Unfortunately, the lag is just a little bit too much. So we're going to be back in about 3 minutes with their game, and then following that, we're going to have Innocent Bubbles versus Blue Blast and Baijay versus Darkness. So I will be right back in about 3 minutes. So see you in a few minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is me. Oh, you can hear the Discord notifications. Because I don't hear them on this computer. Let me mute that real quick. Thank you for letting me know. I have everything off though. Oh my god, you guys are gonna hear a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. Oh my god, why do they play these sounds when you're turning them off? I'm sorry. That is internet waterboarding. That's true. All right, there we go. We are basically ready to go head on into the game between Hui Hui and Lele. So when they are ready, they can just issue the challenge to each other and go open original, save image. Perfect. So Hui Hui and Lele are two of our Chinese competitors. They are bringing decks from the following nation: Lele from Soviet and USA, Germany, and France. The only French representation in the tournament is from Lele. So Germany, France. I wonder if we're going to see that deck here. And then Britain, USA. That's the last one he's bringing. Hui Hui bringing a USA British deck, a Germany USA deck, and a Japanese USA deck. Really loving that USA. And bringing a lot of those Avengers and B-17s for that good removal. So alrighty. Okay. How do I mute these Discord notifications, please? Like, is this a joke? All right. Well, I apologize. You're gonna have to probably hear a few Discord notifications more, but we are just waiting for these players to issue the. No, I can't mute it in the volume mixer because I'm using it for the audio. Because I'm doing this from home, unfortunately. So I wish I could though. But we do have the players here getting ready. The challenge has been issued, and we are getting this live streamed to us straight from China. Really excited about this. It's the first time we try this. There will probably be a little bit well, considering everything, I'm just happy that we are live with this tournament. I think it's just it's a testimony, to the durability and perseverance of the cards community. I mean, you guys are still waiting for reconnect, but it's coming. It's coming. It's around the corner. You know how to persevere. So yeah, I already turned all of that off. Okay, here I'm gonna try a little trick. All right, I'm just waiting for the players to go. All right. Looks like we're just about there. Apologize for the delay, but in the meantime, why don't we take a quick look at the bracket here. We're about to head into the best out of 3 between Lele and Hui Hui before we head on over to Innocent Bubbles versus Blue Blast and then ByJ versus Darkness. The big question here for me is, can Darkness keep up his winning spree? I mean, it's absolutely crazy how much this guy has been winning. He did win the Battle of Britain Invitational, didn't drop a match. He won the first KARDS Open. Dropped 2 matches in that one, then won the entire second KARDS Open without dropping a match, and is now here up against ByJ in the first round. And I believe it was ByJ that actually brought the L460 deck, the Italian tank deck, into the tournament. So he has some tricks up his sleeve. So, I mean, Darkness might get caught off guard there, potentially. There seems to be some issues. All right, so I just wanted to update everybody that might be coming in a little bit late. I'm not using the camera at the moment because I'm at home sick, doing this remotely. I've been sick for the past 4 days, so a huge shout out and thanks to the players competing in the tournament as well. I wasn't able to be quite as present in kind of supporting them around the earlier matches in in the tournament. If you want to see the sick, I'm just as handsome as I'm normally. You know, exactly the same. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of looks like there are some issues with the players. So everybody that's watching, it's really important that you listen close right now. I'm going to restart the stream and I'm going to turn on a 3-minute delay for these players, because that's one thing that I missed when setting up the stream and everything remotely. So we will be back in 3 minutes. The stream will go down, but don't go anywhere. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, there might be another link. I apologize for the inconvenience, but this is something that I need to do for the integrity of the stream. Then when we get back, I do have the Twitch bot ready. So wait, the guys are in game. Wait, we're not going to do it just yet. And we're seeing Resistance in the Officer Club Championship for the first time. I only have 1 game feed. But I do have Nightbot set up on Twitch, and I do have some codes up my sleeve. So when we do restart the stream to turn on the delay and everything, then which will be kind of right after this series, then when we come back, I'll do some giveaways. Yes, I'm working on the picture here for Lele. Unfortunately, I do not have a picture from Hui Hui. But I gotta be completely honest. It's really scary to add new stuff into the production when we're live, and while I'm supposed to be casting. So I apologize for that. Here we go. Alrighty, and there he is, Lele. Welcome to the arena. Now, let's get this casting on the road, and we're going to be casting his hand blind. We're only going to be able to see Hui's POV at the moment. Something wrong with the screen share here from Lele. But Hui already having 3 resistance cards in hand, costing 2, so that's not great. Resistance in the OC. Yeah, well, let's be like, since we're talking resistance in general, I mean, we can just be honest. Resistance is a really frustrating thing to play against, and it can be made in a more it can be made in a better way, where it's not quite as overwhelming but can be effective, and I expect some good changes coming to resistance in the future. Honorable Death really proving its value there. A 1 credit order that takes out a Flampanzer. That Flampanzer had cost Lele a lot of credits so far, right? It cost him 3 to deploy it. It costs him 2 to move it up and 2 to attack if he wanted to attack with it. But already 5 credits there burned for a single card that's the cost of 1 credit. And the Sheeden coming out, land of the free, 0 operation cost, 8 damage, going to be going face there. All of a sudden, out of nowhere from Hui Hui. This game has been pretty interesting. Basically just Hui dealing with a bunch of resistance and then popping out of nowhere, playing that Sheeden combo and taking Lele down to 7 HP. Lele now playing the Panzer III, taking out that Sheeden, but what we're looking at here is there's a Ki and a land of the free and a burst of fire, and boom, without warning, Hui just takes the first game here. And if you don't have big guard units to deal with that pressure there from Hui, you are in for a world of hurt. But I am looking at it. It looks like the players are going into the second game. We will continue watching this from the POV of Hui, and it's going to be interesting to guess what his opponent has. And we see Lele is bringing his German-French deck again. Really wants to stick with that. Beautiful grenades there on the table, the US table prop. We're going to be showing you guys some new table props coming into the game very soon. Really excited about that. Some new awesome customization options. Also looking to introduce some new and exciting things in that regard in the future. So stay tuned on that. But fairly standard opening here, past turn 1 from Lele. It's not War Machine. War Production? No, War Machine. It's War Machine. War Production is the thing that discards. So, and Carrier Cover coming out here. Really quick ramp here from Hui. He's got the War Bonds in hand as well for that next turn. And the Resistance not going to do quite as much. I mean, I'm expecting Hui to be running some special deliveries in there, being able to potentially deal with some of those resistance cards. Okay, getting rid of a Black Watch there, not too bad though. Arming the Resistance, definitely painful, but doesn't deny a draw. Oh, actually does. Ah, the war bonds. And in that situation, I mean, you almost wanted to discard anything other than that special delivery there. It would have emptied those resistance cards out of your hand and given you a really, really juicy full hand of good cards to play. Um, more resistance cards coming out of Lele, and that is jamming up the hand of Hui Hui. However, he did manage to ramp quite a bit so far, has a significant credit advantage, which means that he is able to, get rid of those resistance cards and play units in the same turn. So not going to hamper him quite as much as it would otherwise. He can also start pushing those Grenadier guards up through the battlefield with meeting no resistance there. Haha, no pun intended, meeting no resistance from Lele, pushing those Grenadier guards up across the battlefield there. Opting to discard and get rid of 2 more cards there, resistance cards in hand. Loses some pretty valuable cards doing that, but that Seaborn Invasion probably being the biggest one. That is a cost immediate pressure to face, which is something that he probably wanted to do. I don't think Hui Hui minds this at all. He gets I mean, sure, you push the Grenadier guards back a turn, but he can move it up, play the Corsair, play the rescue mission, and kind of guarantee that he's going to be able to get 2 copies of either one of these units, which he's going to be really happy with back into hand if they get destroyed. So. Boom. And 2 Grenadier guards. You don't really mind, losing that we can do it when you are clogging your hand with 2 of those Grenadier guards. That's probably 2 of the units that Hui Hui definitely wants to have. Ooh, and we got Lele's machine here as well. So I'm going to be able to show you both perspectives in a little bit. I need to find there we go. And there we go. All right. Okay, the carrier cover coming out. Pushing that Panzer 6 back into Panzer 4 F2 back into hand, and actually filling up the hand of the resistance player. So he's gonna end up. That's so unfortunate though. He just spent the entire turn basically clearing out his entire hand. But look at that liberation just sitting in the hand of Lele, just waiting. Hui Hui already kind of pretty low in his deck, and airstrike, taking out the Pershing, discarding that, and that's unfortunate to see. Yep, Liberation, the Flampanzer coming out. However, there is a high altitude bombing in the hand of Hui Hui there, so he is able to deal with both of those targets immediately, discarding an Avenger, not a card you ever want to see gone, but at the same time, he's already pushing face pressure there on Lele with that 5/9 unit, but arming the resistance coming in, that is going to be painful for Hui Hui. And then if you look into Lele's hand, he's holding that Leopold. So he is able to do that Leopold combo where no matter what is on the board, he can Leopold everything off the field against a full hand. So the Flying Fortress there being taken out, it kind of doesn't matter what you play here because we know Michael Lele's plan at this point, right? He's just waiting for the opportunity to push both of these Grenadier Guards back into hand. Oh, and he even draws the unit that pushes his hand to being completely full and discards both of those Grenadier Guards instead of just one. And then the draw discard as well, the War Bonds being ripped from Hui Hui's hand, and he's discarded so much of his own hand at this moment. It's only 12 cards remaining. Second Avenger being taken out. No Avengers left in the deck now for Hui Hui. And Michael Lele is just sitting pretty. I mean, he can do 10 damage to face here with the Comet plus Leopold hitting. And now he has a tank, so he can bounce that Corsair as well. Wow, the control that his deck brings to the table is quite significant. But remember, he can only bring it once. You know, once he wins with it, that's it. It's out. So, what is Hui Hui gonna find here? After all his early ramp, he hasn't really found a ton of stuff later in the game. Opting for the 101st Airborne here. Wonder if he's gonna push that up, and I don't know what he takes out with that. Wants to get rid of the Leopold. Set it up for a carpet bomb next turn, probably. But unfortunate. I mean, you can't really afford. You can't really afford to mill more of your deck, but he's gonna overdraw next turn again, and no, it's not even gonna be a next turn because the Kriegsmarine plus Leopold is gonna end it, and with that, Michael Lele takes game number 2. Wow, it's pretty crazy. Oh, dude, Commandos versus Resistance, it's so fun. Because you just play Pioneers and then you have a full hand of like things that ping everything, right? For free. Alright, we're waiting for the guys to get in there. Game number 3. It is currently tied 1-1 here in this matchup between Michael Lele and Hui Hui. While they're jumping into the game, I am going to really, yeah, discarding special delivery was the turning point, absolutely. I'm going to really quickly grab myself a glass of water. All right, we are back. And now we are looking at Britain versus USA. The Honey coming out turn 2 here for Michael Lele. And the carrier cover, the ramp, the last patch, this was dropped down to a 3 cost, and it's really given a lot of flexibility to kind of US ramp decks, giving them some options of early game control against aggressive players, and some early ramp as well. And then turn 5, What do you know it? It's a war bond from the US player, taking him up to 7 credits. Next turn, it's going to be 8. And what does he have waiting for us there? Probably another war bond and or a black watch. However, Michael Lele is starting to build up that HP. He is starting to draw with that honey, develop that backline there, getting those commandos out there. That's not something that Hui Hui wants to see get too big. A big buffed commando can really cause issues in the trading department later down the line. And plays the Black Watch to just start taking away some of the pressure. But look at that. The Black Watch didn't hit a single card in Michael Lilla's hand. I think I've actually never seen that before. The Black Watch had 0 effect. That's pretty crazy. The B-17 coming out, hitting the East Surrey, and that's probably the last target that you wanted to hit, realistically. Even though the East Surrey is a valuable target, both that commando, it can really easily trade up, and that honey is constantly healing up that HQ. So you kind of wanted either one of those gone instead. I wonder what we're gonna see Michael Lille do here. He's 1 credit off the Avenger to immediately deal with that B-17. However, that Black Watch does have 6 HP, so it's going to be a toss-up. But Corsair, excellent play there. Protects everything from that B-17 and kind of forces the trade into it. But actually the Roth Lightning there for Hui Hui might give us a different story. He's able to push that Corsair back and go face with the B-17 if he wants to. This time, not discarding his special delivery. Unfortunately, not able to use it against a bunch of resistance cards. And Hui Hui is sitting on that strategic planning, which means that if he gets that Roth Lightning out and he is allowed to leave it there, I think we might see a pretty beefy strategic planning come out. Interesting, he goes for the draw there instead of going for the face damage. And now there's an Avenger to be played from Michael Lille if he wants to. But it's only a 33% chance to hit something good. But to be fair, only one of these things kills it. So opting to play the Corsair again and the Monty hitting everything. Just buying himself some space and drawing the shelling. Wow, that's a great draw there from Michael Lille. He can really pin the backline of Hui Hui. And Hui Hui retreats 2 units there, but he doesn't expect the shelling next turn. Now he has a full support line, and he spent basically the entire turn fighting for the board control, but Ultra shelling? Yeah, absolutely. I would expect nothing other than the shelling here coming from Michael Lille, and having the Ultra there as well, basically blocking whatever spell Hui Hui whatever order Hui Hui might want to use, including that strategic planning. Oh my god! No, he has 3. The Ultra really proving its worth there. Michael Lille setting the trap, baiting it. Hui Hui walking directly into it. Wow! What an insane value Ultra there. for anyone that's watching, if your opponent has 3 credits left and he's playing Britain, expect the Ultra. It is one of the most expensive lessons you will learn in cards. But let's not take away the pressure of being in this tournament. And let's also not take away the pressure of being a Chinese player in this tournament, which makes the language barriers difficult, and you got a lot of eyes on you as well. The Chinese community is quite huge, so I mean, the pressure of a tournament setting. Look, if you watch the Battle of Britain, I couldn't count to 7 in a tournament setting. So I'm not gonna shame Hui Hui for walking into the Ultra Trap. But finding a really good we can do it there, taking his entire backline out of carpet bomb range, even out of double carpet bomb range, pouring the pressure on Michael Lele, even though he's banked up quite a big health total. But he does have some bounce left. He'd probably want to bounce the P40. That's going to give him the most issues. It also doesn't have a deployment effect that he really desperately doesn't want to face again. He does not want to see that Blackwatch played again with his current hand. Would absolutely decimate it. He does not want that P40 to stay on the field, and he does not want to be retreated again. So wonder what we're going to see him do here. Tough choice, but opts to take the Rock Lightning, retreat the P40 and get the Hellcat up into the front line. I think that was a pretty decent turn from him. Pours pressure on that guard unit means that Hui Hui has to start thinking about protecting his headquarters instead of kind of forcing the credit choke onto Michael Lele. However, it just opts to completely ignore that and play the P40 again, it looks like. I wonder if he's just going to play the P40, trade into the Hellcat with the Blackwatch, and then play the Grenadier Guards. Big ramp turn, however. Wise choice there for Hui Hui, starting to push that health total a little bit lower there for Michael Lele, trying to keep him away from that 30 mark, keep him away from that Commonwealth range. Altizuria. I probably butchered the pronunciation on that name. We did see like a 5-turn victory earlier on playing Japanese, so there's not a whole lot to do here for Michael Lele outside of that carpet bomb. I actually really like that play of taking that honey up into the front line. It's an interesting trade. If he opts for it, I quite like it. Because the way he's left the board there, the only thing that is able to trade into his honey is the P40. So if you want to get rid of the honey, you have to sacrifice the P40. However, Hui Hui has a carpet bomb, which really throws a wrench in those plans, but only able to get rid of 1 unit off the board with that carpet bombing. But at this point, I mean, he shouldn't expect a lot of units to be played from Michael Lele that he can get rid of with carpet bombing, so it could very well make sense to play it this turn. So carpet bombing coming out here, war bonds being played as well, and then last but not least, that honey being taken out. Yep, looks like it. P40 stays alive, stays on the field, continues to make it difficult for Lele to play any units. I wonder if he opts to go for his second carpet bomb here to clear the board. This is the second series, Agent 182. Yeah, drawing first, that's always a good idea. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good turn there from Lele. Opting to go for the draw first to see all of his options for his remaining 9 credits really paid off for him there. He knew what he was getting, and it wasn't something that gave him a ton more options other than just trading that Rough Lightning into the P40, playing the Sexton, developing some presence on the board. However, the Pershing is sitting in Hui Hui's hand, and he does have 16 credits, so he's able to immediately deal with that Sexton and only takes 1 damage in return. And at this point in time, his HQ total life total cannot be brought down below 1. However, that Avenger, we've been watching it sit in Lele's hand for a long time, and it's proving its worth, taking out that Pershing as fast as it came out. And now a pretty good presence on board there for Lele. That Rough Lightning not able to do anything to that Avenger due to the guard on the Black Watch. And his Black Watch actually hitting 3 orders. So counter Avenger coming out, the 101st as well, just showing how much you can actually do with those extra credits that he's managed to ramp up for himself. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, that 4 credit difference, but it completely made him able to use that turn to its full extent, and wisely using the carpet bombing now to deal with that aggression, only leaving 1 Avenger on the board and playing a smokescreen unit. So the only target he really has to hit is the headquarters. But we're getting kind of deeper and deeper into these decks, and Lele still hasn't played the there we go. Lele still hasn't drawn into his Commonwealth. So Hui now starting to kind of, oh, he found another Pershing. Ah, that's great from him, but I wonder if Lele will find the answer. Ooh, using the carrier cover to bounce this other Avenger in as well. It's a smart play. That's a 200 IQ play there. Corsair coming out, probably the M4A1. That's a prime target there for the Avenger. Lele probably setting up for big. We can do it here next turn. Hui finding his carpet bombing and strategic bombing, and that just wipes the board and pushes the credit total of Lele down by 1 as he keeps ramping up as well. 18 credits next turn for Hui. The Albacore, that's not really what he wanted to find. He's definitely going to be, he's kind of forced to either just hard pass this turn or play the we can do it to try and get a draw. Neither of which are really exciting options there for Lele. Keep in mind, this is game number 3 between these two, so whatever happens here will decide who moves on into the next round. Yeah, so the stream that is lagging is the screen share here from the players. They are screen sharing their gameplay all the way from China to Iceland, where this is being broadcast. So I do apologize for potential frame drops there. I am monitoring my stream quality extremely closely, and it has only dropped 242 frames. So now it's a question, what is Hui Hui going to do with all his credits? He's going to opt to get more of them. Now sitting on 19 credits. That's a lot of credits, my friends. And, ooh, that's a rough one. Playing the Mosquito, then buffing, then attacking. And unfortunately, the Mosquito being the one taken out by the death effect on the Corsair. So 3 cards being used there, and in the end, you have a lone albacore that is 1/1 on the field. That's not what Michael Lele wanted to see happen. He definitely wanted to end up with that Mosquito with high health on the battlefield there to deal with the potential bombers. But on the plus side, you know, the Avengers are not gonna kill the albacore there. But now we got a pretty huge Grenadier Guards there in the back line. And the Avenger is not guaranteed to hit either one. I would like to see Michael Lele draw here before he does anything, if he's going to draw this turn. Actually opts not to draw and hits the Corsair, which I guess is alright from him because it means that he can start going face with these bombers, but look at how thin his deck is getting, and we still haven't seen that Commonwealth. That's probably just what he's waiting for. He really wants to be able to get that 20 burst damage in to bring Hui Hui's health total down to 5 or 6. Oh, sorry, the feed froze from Michael Lele. So, but now the Pershing coming out again, and that's nothing. That's something that Michael Lele is probably not expecting Hui Hui to have at all. Another Pershing, but indeed he does have it. And he's able to push it into the front line, so we're just going to stick with this POV as there's a little bit less lag on it. Honey coming out, plus a convoy. Actually, a pretty decent turn there for Michael Lele. Opts to go for the we can do it. However, Hui Hui, he's able to bring that HQ down below 30 HP if he wants to. And he brings that Avenger out, and that Avenger is going to be enough to take out the Honey. And that rescue mission can be huge as well, because no matter which of these units Michael Lele ends up dealing with, he's going to get 2 units back. And that's when the Commonwealth hits. Oh my god, you hate to see it. Oh, you hate to see it come that late. It was the 6th last card in his deck, and he's been sitting on it for such a long time, the ability to Commonwealth, for probably 5 or 6 turns. And then when he goes and he plays the B-17, the rescue mission gives 2 Pershings back to Hui Hui. So he's able to play another one and just push it right back up into the front line if he wants. Plus he has an Avenger, so he's even able to attack with his Avenger or his Grenadier Guards into the East Surrey and be guaranteed to hit the B-17, or because he has all the credits in the world, he just plays both the B-17 and the Avenger, takes both of those targets out, and absolutely leaves Michael Lele naked and vulnerable there at 20 HP. Finally gets to use his Commonwealth, but it doesn't take the HP total down like he wanted it. And with that, the surrender comes out. Hui Hui taking this Chinese grudge match 2-1. Michael Lele got really close there, but in the end was just not able to find the victory. Really unfortunate there from him. But with that, Hui Hui is going to be moving on in the tournament. Congratulations to him. So that was a pretty long match. and a great ramp deck there from Hui Hui. Even though Michael Lele got most of what he wanted to do done that game, that wasn't enough. So pretty interesting here. I'm going to quickly update our bracket here. So we can see getting Hui Hui set up with his proper image, proper font in the bracket here. There we go. All right, so if we take a look at the bracket, we are 2 matches deep into this Officer Club Tournament, Officer Club Championship, and J King and Hui Hui have secured their advance into the next round. So what we have coming up is going to be the match between Innocent Bubbles and Blue Blast, and then by Jay and Darkness. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go to a quick break. We're going to restart the stream, so don't go anywhere. We're going to put on a 3-minute delay so these players feel all more comfortable. I forgot to do that when setting up today's stream. And then when we are back, we're going to be bringing you Blue Blast versus Innocent Bubbles, so don't go anywhere.